everybody, welcome to the campus here at Bedford High School, home of the Bulldogs. You are watching live on the Highlight Guy. Jason Roby, Brad Craig, Steve Cody, the man on the moving pictures, bringing all the action to you. I'm joined by the head coach of the #1 ranked Bedford Bulldogs, Coach Kevin Gibbs. Thank you so much for joining us. We got a pretty big marquee matchup here tonight. The #1, #2 teams, arguably in the state, matching up here. Coach, talk to us a little bit about this matchup tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, both Londonderry and Bedford went out of state to get as good a competition as we could find to get ready for the postseason. And the funny thing is, probably the best competition we're going to see all year going into the postseason is on the floor tonight.
That's good stuff.
Two good teams. We match up really well. Each one of us has some different strengths that we'll probably both try to play to and try to exploit.
Yeah.
Both teams are fast. Both teams can shoot the ball. The thing that's really great is the kids know and like each other.
Yeah.
They're competitors. They aren't, what word am I looking for here? They're not like enemies. That's the word I'm looking for. Some of them play AAU together. We actually do open runs and stuff together in the off season, in the summer. The kids know each other, the kids like each other, the kids respect each other, and that's what it's all about.
I want to talk about something you and I spoke about back when you were visiting Wachusett High School in Massachusetts. You talked about how New Hampshire girls basketball was on the map, and there were a few schools that kind of could cross over the border and do really well. You mentioned this Londonderry team who, oh, by the way, went and beat a Central Catholic team by 30 a week or so ago. This is a Londonderry team that seems to have arrived on the scene on schedule. What do your girls need to do tonight to have success and kind of cement that one seed for your team?
We need to play our game,
yeah,
which by this point, everybody knows what our game is. We like to defend, we like to run, we like to play to our strengths, which, you know, we have quite a few different ones. So do they. What we need to do is minimize mistakes, own the boards as much as we can, and make sure, I mean, they're going to score the ball.
Yeah.
We're going to score the ball.
Sure.
The question is, who's going to, at the end of the game, be the one that has held the other one better, who's played the better defense, who's done a better job on the boards, and who's made the fewer mistakes.
Sure.
That's really what it's going to be.
That's how high school basketball rolls. Who makes the fewest mistakes? Who makes their free throws? Who doesn't turn the ball over? Coach Kevin Gibbs, thank you so much for joining us here.
Appreciate
and we hope
coverage.
to talk to you again real soon.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back with his counterpart on the other side, Coach John Doherty of the Londonderry Lancers. You are watching live on the Highlight Guy. Welcome back to the campus here at Bedford High School, home of the reigning champion Bulldogs. I am joined by Coach John Doherty of the Londonderry Lancers, and he would probably like nothing more than to be the one team that beats this Bedford Bulldog team first time in 44 games. Coach, thank you for joining us here on the Highlight Guy. This is a huge matchup for your ladies tonight. Talk to us a little bit about your team, what you like about your team, and what you need to do tonight to have success.
Yeah, I mean, so far this year, we've been really able to rely on speed. We have a lot of scoring options, a lot of punching options.
Hold your mic up. There you go, Coach.
We've been shooting really well the last couple games, so I'm really hoping that, you know, things are clicking and we're firing. We've showed that we can play with some resiliency too. We've been kind of punched in the mouth a couple times this year, and we've been able to bounce back. So, you know, I like our odds tonight, and I'm hoping for a good competitive game.
Coach Gibbs mentioned that there are a few teams here in the state of New Hampshire that can kind of cross the border, leave the Granite State, and go and play in Massachusetts and some other places. You guys play in a Christmas tournament, a holiday tournament where you face some really good teams. Is this Londonderry team, is this where you expected to be on this journey in terms of you know, how you've paced this team to get to this point, undefeated in 2025 with a chance to be the one seed? Is this like the mission, we're on pace for what we want to accomplish?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
This was kind of the goal. You know, I mean, I took over this program 4 years ago.
Right.
And I knew what was coming up the pipeline. And my goal was to kind of set these girls up for success by the time they got here.
Okay.
And I think so far we've done that. Like you mentioned, the Christmas tournament.
Yeah.
It's an invite-only Christmas tournament.
That's right.
We get teams, you know, from out of state, all over the place, Rhode Island. Next year we have Vermont, Connecticut, Mass, and it's an invite-only. I go to the best teams and I say, do you guys want to come up and play us?
That's great.
And teams want to come up. So next year we got 10 teams coming up. This year we were able to get out, drop a couple of kind of like the lower teams in New Hampshire
Sure.
and play some better competition. We had a really good game against Framingham, Mass, about a week ago, and then we went and played Central Catholic a couple days ago.
We saw that score, and that definitely was quite a
that was
quite a
one of
score,
those games where everything was going in and we were clicking and shots were falling, so it was very fun.
That's good stuff. Hey, Coach, I want to wish you the best of luck here tonight. No matter what happens here, you've certainly brought this program to a very respectable place and kind of on the verge of something really special happening.
Yeah,
wish you the best of luck. And speaking of special invites next year for that holiday tournament,
You guys are
by the
all
way,
in. We got you guys.
If you're looking for someone to cover, the Highlight Guys got your back.
If you want to sit in the bleachers for 5 games, you're more than welcome to.
We've done a whole lot worse. He is Coach John Doherty of the Londonderry Lancers, and we'll be right back with the opening tip. You're watching live on the Highlight Guy.
Meet Bouvier Prepare, your game changer in college athletics recruitment. We cut through the chaos, focusing on superb communication and top-notch organization. One-on-one attention, tailored strategies, and a winning game plan for emails, calls, camps, visits, and offer closings. Be prepared. Your limitless future starts now with Bouvier Prepare.
Hi, this is Deb Cody with the Dow Group at Keller Williams Coastal and Lakes and Mountains Realty. I have a passion for helping people, and I love to help people with their real estate goals, whether it's buying, selling, or investing. I'm licensed in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Maine, and work with an incredible team, the Dow Group, which has been the #1 real estate team in New Hampshire for the past several years. Collectively, the team has sold over $1 billion worth of real estate in the past 20 years.
Welcome back to the campus here at Bedford High School. Jason Roby calling all the action for you. Brad Craik will have the color commentary. The man on the moving pictures, as always, is Steve Cody. We're going to meet the starting lineups, and while we do that, Coach Craik, this is a game that we sat down, I don't know, maybe a couple of months ago, and we put a schedule together, and this was one of the games that we put on our calendar as something that we had to cover, and man, here we are. This is really for all the marbles, at least for the regular season. Talk to us about these teams and what they've done this year.
Well, with 33-0 combined in-state, combined regular season record for both of these teams. So I think if you had talked to anybody that's familiar with the girls basketball scene, these were your two teams coming into the season that people thought would be right where they are. Whether people thought they would be 33-0 combined or not is debatable. But I think they've separated themselves from the pack. And certainly the two teams to beat. It's awfully nice. Second year in a row we've been in this gym with in the last week of the regular season with 2 undefeated teams battling it out for the 1 seed. So can't ask for anything more.
This is both coaches alluded to the fact, look, we got to play defense, we got to rebound well, we got to take care of the basketball. What's the real X factor out there tonight, Coach, that could make the difference between being the #1 seed and kind of falling by the wayside and knocking up the 2?
Yeah, I think it's the team that makes the least mistakes, I think, wins this game tonight. So we've seen both of these teams enough to know that Londonderry team, as Coach Doherty said in your pregame interview, they hung 80 easily on Central Catholic the other night at their place. So they've got 3 kids that can really, really score the ball. And I think the X factor for Londonderry is probably Reagan Anderson.
Yeah.
Kind of an unsung hero for that team. Double-digit rebound per game kid for her career at Londonderry High School, and she's 5'6", 5'7" on a good day. And she just does all the little things. And then Bedford's Bedford, right? They got that tremendous guard pressure. They'll try to turn the screws and speed the game up, and we'll see if Londonderry, with I think 3 ball handlers, can withstand that defensive pressure and not turn the ball over.
We call it hair on fire, and I think we're going to see a lot of it here tonight. They're going to get the fire extinguishers ready. This place is going to be jumping. It is the #1 and #2 seeds in Division I, battling for that top spot. We're going to take a break. get the national anthem going, and don't you touch that dial. We'll be right back for the opening tip after the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we ask you now to stand, remove your hats, as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem performed tonight by the Bedford High School Pep Band.
All right, the Bedford High School Pep Band playing the national anthem, and we are just about ready to tip things off here. It is the #1 and undefeated Bedford Bulldogs at 17-0 taking on the #2 Londonderry Lancers. They come in at an unblemished 16-0. This is the last regular season game for Bedford as they await to see where they end up in the standings. Meanwhile, this Londonderry team will play an 8-8 Keene team later on the 25th of February. And again, there's a reason why you play the games. Anything can happen on any given night, but you have to kind of potentially think that the winner of this one gets the 1 seed, the fast track to the 1 seed.
That's the overwhelming, likelihood.
Yep.
Like you said, you got to play the games, and I've seen that Keene team play. They can play a little bit, but you've got to think the winner of this game is locked and loaded at the 1, and the loser is probably going to be the 2 seed. So,
and not necessarily a bad place to be. I heard some parents speaking earlier that saying, not conceding defeat. I won't tell you where they were from, but saying, the 2 seed might not be a bad place to end up in terms of this is a division that any one of potentially 4 or 5 teams could come out on top this year. Little leather souffle is driving to the hoop was number 21, Samantha Sullivan. She, by the way, is a 1,000-point scorer here this year. They celebrate that. You heard Coach Craig talking about Reagan Anderson, 1,000 rebounds in her career. Runner in the lane, no good. Battle for Londonderry keeping it alive. Another bite of the apple. Murray got it in the paint on the low block. Kick out, left-hand dribble crossover. They'll reset the scene in the half court. Man-to-man defense being employed here by the Bulldogs. They have Spitfire guards that travel very well and defend. We'll see how Londonderry handles it. Downtown, no. Rebound taken there, and back the other way comes Kay Allard. The BU-bound senior gave it up. The ball was tipped, and now it gets intercepted by Gemma Murray. She'll look for her teammate, and they'll reverse things. That was Ekrit. And they'll reset the scene. Skip it goes through the hands of Murray. And now back to Ekrit.
I think one of the keys early in this game is, I think Londonderry is one of the very few teams Bedford will have played this year that has 3 kids that can all handle the basketball. So, Bedford's meal ticket all year long has been that defensive pressure and their ability to speed people up and turn them over. So I think that's the key thing early is, who wins that little mini battle within the game is can the Londonderry guards withstand that kind of defensive pressure and just take good care of the ball.
That's a great point, Coach. Samantha Sullivan knocks down the first. She'll get a second. The other part, Brad, that we've talked about a lot is kind of pounding the ball down in the paint, maybe trying to make something happen, and getting the other team in foul trouble. And maybe that's on the recipe, on the menu here tonight, is to try and maybe get the bigs of Bedford in foul trouble.
Yeah, I think the matchup I think when you just look on the floor, I think the matchup is right there with the ball. I think Mel McCarthy, size-wise, on Reagan Anderson is a little bit of a mismatch. So we'll see. You're right. We'll see if they try to get the ball down on the block to Mel. That Sullivan-Allard matchup's also an interesting one. So a little bit of a chess game here early on, and we'll see how things unfold.
Ball was deflected out of bounds, and you mentioned Anderson. She got help from Murray, and that created a turnover. And speaking of turnovers, right there was Eva Zink, and she'll run. At the elbow, spin move, kick out, right-hand dribble into the paint, jump stop, little baseline drive, good unselfish play, and a pull-up, little set jumper there by Sarah Muir. And we are locked up at 2, 6:10 to go here in the first frame. You can see a nice battle going on here as the ball gets stolen, and back the other way comes Bedford, and good job in transition by Bedford following that up. And we got a timeout called, and I think that's exactly potentially what Coach Doherty's going to talk about. Is there were 5 Bulldogs on the offensive side of things, and looking at his Londonderry team, they were still on the other side of the court.
Yeah, 2 turnovers. 2 turnovers to start the game for Londonderry on the offensive side of the floor. Both resulting in Bedford baskets. One in transition, one with a little bit of a early offense type situation. So again, this is exactly what that Bedford team is built to do. Londonderry's just got to take good care of the ball. Doesn't have to be fancy, right? They just got to turn the ball over, 10, 12 times or less. Otherwise, I think, it really tilts in Bedford's favor.
Skill-wise, Brad, this Londonderry team, they've shown that they can handle the ball. They've shown that they can put the brakes on. They can defend for sure. Is it an even matchup regardless of maybe the size advantage that Bedford has? I mean, are these 2 evenly matched teams from a skill standpoint?
Yeah, they're a little different. They're a little different. I think offensively, Londonderry's got 3, with Sullivan and Murray and Egret, 3 kids that can, on any given day, hang 25 on you.
Right.
I'm not sure I've seen that, from the Bedford kids, but they're, they got 5 or 6 kids that could all score between 10 or 15 a game. So I think they're built a little differently. And this is the kid right here who I think is going to be a real key, Brooke Egret. She's their 3rd leading scorer, but I'd say over the last half a dozen games or so, she's really, really stepped her game up, and they're going to need her to score the basketball tonight.
Well, not only scoring the basketball, but taking care of it in the half court as the Lancers have turned the ball over 3 straight possessions. They have to be careful because this snowball can get rolling downhill pretty quick.
Yeah, there's McCarthy in the block.
They front her and back her, but again, they have no answer for that height down low, even if the double team comes, and it's going to be McCarthy at the free throw line for a pair.
Both of these teams, they've got the kind of the top end kids. Allard going to BU to play basketball for free. Sammy Sullivan, multiple Division I offers and so forth. But they both have those kids, those kids that are they're kind of the unsung heroes. You'll remember the state final last year when Mel McCarthy came into that game in the mid part of the 3rd quarter when her older sister got in foul trouble, completely changed the game.
Yeah.
And she's a tremendously difficult matchup because usually someone big is going to guard Allard, and there's just not a lot of teams that have that kind of size. And there's another turnover, 4 turnovers in 2.5 minutes.
Dribble, penetrate, kick has been the name of the game, but those kicks have ended up in the bleachers. And unfortunately for Londonderry, the other thing about McCarthy, Brad, is she can knock her free throws down. And that's not something you want to do, is send her to the free throw line. And stealing the ball there is Anderson. The 5'7" rebounding stalwart goes up and joins the offensive fray. She has 2 points. 6-4 Bulldog lead. Downtown, Yahtzee. And a make there by McCarthy as she knocks down a triple. And that's a disheartening thing. She can get you inside, she can get you outside.
She'll kill you.
Another downtown and another Yahtzee. Anything you can do, I can do better. Me a jumper. Knocks down a triple. Yahtzee of their own. Nice job. Are we 3 for 3? We are indeed. Is number 3 knocks down a 3. Annie Zink with her Yahtzee. 12-7 now. Bedford by 5. Foul line, crossover. In the paint, kick out, downtown, 4 for 4. And back and forth we go. These 2 teams just taking roundhouse after roundhouse. Another Yahtzee in the corner. Dribble drive in the paint. They feed McCarthy. Good English on that one as she goes up and in, and Melody has 7 points. 14-10, Londonderry on the attack, setting up in the half court. Good ball handling by this Lancer team. Front or side iron rather, but quickly getting that ball was Anderson. Downtown. No, the place would have erupted in front of us with the Londonderry fans. They go at McCarthy on the low block. Too far underneath was Sullivan. And back the other way come the Bulldogs. The Lancers got beat in transition.
Pace of the game right now, Jason, I think favors Bedford. You know, they'll play 100 miles an hour for 32 straight minutes and be perfectly fine with it. We'll see if Londonderry can do that.
The transition defense has to be something that I'm sure Coach Doherty is going to talk to his ladies about in addition to the turnover factor. Got to take care of the basketball. This Londonderry team, every bit as quick, and knocking down a triple of her own is Gemma Murray. That's 2 triples and 2 Yahtzees for Gemma.
You can see that Londonderry, I mean, they got those 3 kids that can absolutely
They
shoot
could
the
stroke
ball.
it, man. Wow. And a chance for a 4-point play. The first we've seen this year as Kate Allard, the BU-bound senior, knocks down a triple, and she'll head to the line for a 4-point opportunity.
Not a lot of nerve so far, huh?
Well, I was just about to say, Brad, both of these teams showing great confidence, you know, giving the fans quite a show here.
Great to see.
Coach Gibbs was talking about, he was looking for a word. He said, you know, they're not enemies. And I said, well, they're the best of frenemies.
Yeah.
You know, these kids all know each other, and they like playing against each other. They have respect for each other. And this is another steal by Muir. Ball is lost, and this time the Lancers hustle back on defense, and as a result, create a turnover of their own. It's the Bulldogs by 7, 20-13, 2:30 to go in the first quarter. You're watching on the highlight guide. Murray gave it up to Ekert. Ekert now. And they'll reset the scene. Directing traffic is Murray at the top right. She'll reverse it to Anderson. Anderson with a pretty bounce pass, but it just snaked by Sam Sullivan. And so, you know, Brad, some empty possessions here that if the game stays this way, you'll look at and say, you know, there are possessions where we didn't even get a shot. 4, 5, 6 possessions without a shot. You got to come away with a bite of the apple. Downtown, knockdown, and a triple for Sarah Muir. She joins the 3-party, and she gets a Yahtzee. I need a new phrase by the end of this night. Dribble drive, left hand, scoop shot, no whistle. Pulling it down is McCarthy. She'll run. Outlet pass. Knocked out of bounds, and that time it was Murray stepping into the passing lane. Don't tell me this game doesn't matter to these young ladies. They are flying around. Zink got the ball in, and now they'll reset the scene. This is Muir. Right-hand dribble, directing traffic. She'll cycle back to the left. Trying to look at that post. No, instead, they feed the middle. Kick out. Ball fake, dribble drive, left-hand runner, no good. Follows her own shot. Gets it back into the corner now. Right-hand runner goes up, may have been tipped. Coming away with it was Jampa, but not giving up on the possession was Muir. And they're going to call a backcourt there, Brad. She got possession of it and fell into the backcourt, and possession will go back to Londonderry.
Yeah, that's the right call. You know, again, what do we talk about at the top of the show, right? The team that turns the ball over the least is going to have an advantage. I think Londonderry's got 7 early, so they're going to have to get that cleaned up and stay connected here. They're down 10. You know, they want to stay connected right now until they clean things up.
Back iron, no good. Offensive rebound and a nice job on the boards. Dribble drive, spin move. 3 Bulldogs waiting for, and 6 paws go up. But Sullivan not to be denied. She's going to head to the free throw line for a pair. And you mentioned it quickly is a 10-point lead for the Bulldogs as the Lancers have to come away with points and get some stops of their own in the half court.
Yeah, I've been so impressed with how both teams have shot the ball so far. You know, when Londonderry's gotten good possessions and not turned it over, you know, they've knocked shots down, and Bedford's been on fire.
Referees are having a conference here. They're going to fix something. It's 58.4 seconds to go. No shot clock in the state of New Hampshire.
Another interesting. We're 7 minutes into the game. We don't have a sub yet. So we'll see from a conditioning perspective, how this game unfolds.
Sullivan goes 4 for 4, release, rotation, splash. She's got 4 points all via the free throw line. 23-15. Lancers extending that defense, making the guards from Bedford work. They handle the pressure. McCarthy's not shy. Downtown, no. One and done. Good rebound by Ekrit. She'll come over the Bulldog ear, and she will set the scene. Crossover. Nice job by Bedford rotating defensively to help out, making that paint almost impassable. Right elbow stepping in the pass lane, getting a dog paw up. A Bulldog paw was number 5, Sarah Muir. Londonderry will regain possession and start in the half court. They go up over the top. They were looking for Sullivan. They found her. Dish out, and a Yahtzee of her own from downtown. And Regan Anderson now, not just a rebounder. She's created offense. She's created steals. She's knocked down a triple. Back iron, no good. They're going to say it went off of Londonderry. That was one of those 50-50 calls, and as Coach Craig mentioned, maybe not a lot of substituting, but we have one now as number 13, Brooke Wilson, will come into the game, a 5'7" junior guard. Bedford got to get it in. They do. Dribble drive, penetrate. Long-range jumper from just inside the 3 is no good by Annie Zink. And we'll head to the end of the first quarter as the pep band plays. It is a 23-18 Bedford advantage. But Brad, for my money right now, it was a Londonderry team that has stayed in this via the long-range shooting. And there are a lot of things that they can clean up here offensively and, oh, by the way, defensively in transition. Gotta like what you're seeing in that regard if you're Coach Doherty.
Yeah, look, I think if you're on the Londonderry side of this thing, you're saying to yourselves, listen, we're only down 5. We've turned it over 7 or 8 times in the first quarter, and we're hanging around. So that's a good sign. From Bedford's perspective, they're saying, look, we just got to keep defending, keep running, keep attacking the basket. They just scored 23 points in a quarter against a pretty good defensive team.
Right,
so,
right.
We'll see. We'll see if both of these teams can continue to shoot the ball the way they've shot it early. They've both been great offensively.
Well, not to mention the fact that this Londonderry team scored 18 against a really good defensive ball club in Bedford. So you have to think that at some point, maybe things come back down to earth a little bit. A high shooting percentage for both of these clubs. What then becomes the deciding factor when that happens?
Look, I think it's a thing you and I have talked about for years now, right? It's, these games, these good teams when they play, usually comes down to who defends better consistently, who gets stops consistently, who doesn't turn it over. And then who can actually make their layups and free throws, right? I mean, it sounds so boring to say, but at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to in most instances.
We saw a feed down on the low block to McCarthy. She was double-teamed, missed the layup, but because she was double-teamed, the backside baseline, they were able to get that rebound, and now a couple of freebies coming for number 12, Eva Zink. Zink knocks down the first. She'll get a second. And she, Brad, a 5'11" freshman. That's a nice problem to have.
She's an awfully impressive kid for a 14-year-old freshman.
Goes 1 out of 2, and they're going to say that McCarthy knocked it away from Anderson, so it'll be Lancer ball. This Londonderry team, they don't have quite the height or the length that this Bedford team does, but they are not intimidated. They go in there and they'll mix it up pretty good on the glass. I mean, we talked about in the pregame, Brad, you don't get 1,000 rebounds at 5'7" without being an aggressive player.
Yeah, that's a sort of an astonishing number when you think about it for a high school kid who's really playing the guard position.
Yeah.
From a size perspective to average over a 4-year high school career, 11 or 12 rebounds a game is almost unheard of. So you got to give that kid a lot of credit.
That's impressive. Baskets count for 2, 3-pointers obviously, give you 3. Rebounds is 1 at a time. And you can get him at both ends of the floor. As going in to get her own bucket was Annie Zink. She has 7. Lancers got to take care of the basketball here. Don't want to get in the back and forth trading with this Bedford team. No whistle there. Good save as Sullivan was able to keep the ball alive. They'll feed her back on the post, and now they'll reset the scene. They'll skip it across the way. This is Murray going up strong with the left and took it, as we mentioned, right at McCarthy. They are not intimidated in the least. Murray has 8.
I think Bedford wants to continue to look to get that ball down on the block. They don't have to score it down there every time, but they, you know, Mel's kind of having her way right now. I would look to feed that post as much as you can and play inside out here.
Well, I think the other thing too is, you know, Melody McCarthy can knock down her free throws. You know, and I think that is something that you're very fortunate to have. Someone that can go down in that low block, and you got to be careful because she's going to come away with something. Dribble drive, knifing through the lane, and what a pretty make there by Samantha Sullivan.
I don't think Coach Gibbs can be very happy about that. That's a little too easy. What a great first 10 minutes, huh?
Fantastic basketball game. It's all that in a bag of chips. We told you it would be. As we said at the Longhorn in Amherst, talking about what games we wanted to cover months ago, the prognostication of the highlight guy staff, very, very impressive.
That's 2, I think that was on Reagan Anderson, and if so, that will be her second foul, I think. So, you know.
They got her at 1 on the board.
Maybe earlier they got somebody else.
Certainly not something you want with 5, or make that 6 minutes to go in the half with 2 fouls.
There it is again.
Nice job defensively. It's going to go off of Londonderry, but you could see Coach Doherty. I was watching the bench, and as that inbound or that pass down to the block was coming, he was kind of shuffling over, being that defensive player from the bench, trying to help out. Got to get it in. They come well over the top, and they find Muir. Muir will set the scene. She'll dribble drive at the elbow. Pretty pass. Stepping into that passing lane was Anderson. Nice bounce pass. Pull-up jumper. A long range. Knocked down there. A long 2-pointer for Gemma Murray. She has 10, and a great pass by Anderson. Right-hand dribble. She saves the dribble. This is Muir. Now she loses it. Skip it across the way to Wolf. Grace, the runner in the lane's no good. She battles for the rebound, but coming away with it was Regan Anderson. Anderson now will slow things down in the half court, looking for help. Finds it. They go right baseline. Good ball handling being displayed here by the Lancers. Little 3-player weave here. Only thing missing is the Harlem Globetrotter sound. A little runner in the paint, and what a pretty make by Sam Sullivan. She's got 8. And don't look now, Brad. We are locked up at 26.
Yeah, this is going to be a heck of a game. Already is.
And they have the numbers. If they run, they do. Better transition. Opportunity to take the lead. Knifing in, and the make by Brooke Ekert. And the Lancers have taken the lead 28-26 with 4:25 to go in the first half. Bedford operating in the half court. Directing traffic is McCarthy. And we're going to get an offensive foul called here. And again, 3 officials calling this one. That's probably what you're going to see in the postseason, so they can cover a lot more floor with 6 eyes than they can with 4. Been a relatively clean game up to this point, a fast-flowing first half as Londonderry tries to add to their lead. 28-26, operating in the half court. Good defense employed there by Zink. Ball stolen, and back the other way comes Annie. Annie tried to save it and did. It was a good effort by Eva Zink, but it was a Zink to Zink. But unfortunately, they couldn't save the possession. Sullivan at the elbow, now driving in. There are 4, count them, 4 Bulldogs surrounding her. Dribble drive kick, tried to go up and over the top, and stepping into that passing lane was Eva, and Eva's going to get called for the travel. And Coach Gibbs just gives a wry smile over on the sideline. First time We've seen him get up off the bench.
Yeah, you know, every time Sammy Sullivan touches the ball in the paint, there's 2, 3 kids on her. So I think, you know, look, Coach Doherty's a great coach. He will spread that floor out, and Sammy will share the ball really well with Murray and Ekert out there shooting the ball. Actually, all 5 of them can shoot the 3.
Yeah.
They're just very tough.
Ooh.
3 straight turnovers, though, right?
Yeah. And again, we're going to get, I believe, a jump ball possession going to go to Londonderry. Good sportsmanship there. Londonderry fortunate not to turn the ball over in this possession. They need to come away with points. Doing the honors for the Lancers will be Gemma Murray. She's got to get it in. She'll come over the top. That ball was tipped, and winning the race, the foot race, and saving it. And we'll look back if they score on this possession. It was good hustle by Eva Zink, and she came away with that loose ball. A lot of things that you won't see in the newspaper or read about or hear about. Jump ball called, Bedford coming away with it. Just a lot of hustle from both of these teams. As checking in will be Mia Ciampa, and coming out is Brooke Wilson, and the Londonderry fans give a nice round of applause for her effort. Operating in the half court is Annie Zink. She's not shy. Yahtzee! And Zink knocks down her second triple. She's got 10. Behind the back, this is Murray. Murray surveys the scene and gives it up. Ciampa got it across the way to Sullivan. Sullivan will penetrate into the key. Her lane is shut down. That one may have been tipped. It's side irons, no good. And now in transition, Bedford, little pull-up jumper around the rim and out. Great rebound by Ekert. And now look at this, Brad. The Lancers had the numbers in transition. That time, Bedford didn't get back, and Sullivan makes them pay.
Well, looks like a little fatigue setting in actually here. It'll be really, the second half's going to be so interesting in terms of whose legs hang in there in the fourth quarter.
Good quick hands displayed by Anderson. She poked that one away. Bedford able to save the possession. Side iron, no. Good job by Anderson on the box out. She tips the rebound, and the Lancers have a chance to bring the lead to 4, and they do. Yahtzee! And a great make there. I didn't see, was that Ekert?
Yes, it was.
So Ekert with a Yahtzee. And you're going to look back at that one and say that was because of the hustle of Anderson to grab that rebound and one-hand push pass it into the low block, and we're going to get a call there, as I thought we'd see more of that as Kate Allard gets hacked in the act. I thought we'd see, you know, a lot of that on the agenda. Feed that low block. And it looks like McCarthy getting ready to check back in. 33-29 as the BU-bound senior Kate Allard release rotation splash on the first. She'll get a second. And getting a nice round of applause, Grace Wolf, who comes in off the bench, gives some valuable minutes, and McCarthy back in the game. Shooter's touch there, around and in for Allard. 33-31 Londonderry, and the ball gets stolen, another turnover. The runner, too hard, battled for, taken, and there are the two guards that we talk about, Brad. You know, you've got Annie Zink, you've got Sarah Muir, and they just do it all. They defend, they run the floor, they rebound.
Not quite sure what's going on with the score. It was a 4-point lead, and they hit 2 free throws, and now it's a 1-point game. So not quite sure I follow what's going on here.
Interestingly enough, we'll have to check the book. There's some conversation going on down there at the book as they're looking back and forth.
Yeah. Maybe they missed a point, but
it could be.
It was a 4-point lead, and now it's tied after 3 free throws.
So Zink goes 1 out of 2. It's 33-32 on the scoreboard.
Now they got it right.
Okay. And of course, the highlight guy scorebook not official, but it looks really good. At least that's what Steve Cody told me. Londonderry operating in the half court. Kick out. And they'll reset the scene.
That's
Dribble,
a great take.
Drive. Oh, and just
That's
too
all right.
far to reach. Yeah, it was a good take in the flow of the offense. Ekrit missed it. Oh, well done by Bedford, but they can't get it. And pulling down that rebound, and once again, Gemma Murray pulls down the board and gets hacked in the act. Neither team in the bonus here.
We'll see if Londonderry holds the ball for the last possession. Doesn't give it back to Bedford heading into the half.
Well, this game has been all that. You're watching on the highlight guy downtown. I was ready to yell Yahtzee. I thought it was in. And good pressure on ball by Murray. Able to pull it away with Zink. In the corner it goes. No, battling for the rebound. And now coming away with it is Murray. They won't get a shot at the buzzer. Hey, don't look now. We're going to head to the half. It's the Londonderry Lancers, a 33-32 lead against the two-time defending state champion Bedford Bulldogs. We got to pay some bills. We got to have some throat lozenges. We got to drink some water. Make sure you don't touch that dial. You come right back here for second half action. You are watching live on the Highlight Guy.
Meet Bouvier Prepare, your game changer in college athletics recruitment. We cut through the chaos, focusing on superb communication and top-notch organization. One-on-one attention, tailored strategies, and a winning game plan for emails, calls, camps, visits, and offer closings. Be prepared. Your limitless future starts now with Bouvier Prepare.
Hi, this is Deb Cody with the Dow Group at Keller Williams Coastal and Lakes and Mountains Realty. I have a passion for helping people, and I love to help people with their real estate goals, whether it's buying, selling, or investing. I'm licensed in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Maine, and work with an incredible team, the Dow Group, which has been the #1 real estate team in New Hampshire for the past several years. Collectively, the team has sold over $1 billion worth of real estate in the past 20 years. If you're curious to know what the local market is like in your area, feel free to reach out via my website, deb.thedowgroup.com, and let's get connected.
Are you looking to play sports in college? Almost every college recruiting website recommends having a highlight video as one of the top 3 crucial recruiting tools. In fact, 93% of college coaches we surveyed said they watch a recruit's highlight video as part of their player assessments. Our sole purpose is to make you look good. Our highlight videos include an athlete bio and accolade page, stop motion, and player highlight. The video is not done until you are completely satisfied and say it's done. We also upload to YouTube or whatever recruiting platform you use. The Highlight Guide can also film your high school or club games to capture you in action, resulting in amazing footage that you can use to help create your highlight video. We have the expertise to help you get recruited. Check out our website at thehighlightguide.com or contact Steve at thehighlightguide.com to get started on your path to playing sports in college.
Welcome back to the campus here at Bedford High School. It is halftime here on the Highlight Guy. Jason Roby calling all of the action for you. Brad Craik is on the color commentary. Steve Cody is the man on the moving pictures, and he is the highlight guy. What a game you are seeing here tonight as the Bedford Bulldogs, the home team, find themselves in a pretty unusual position. They're down by 1 point to a Londonderry team, and it seems like, Brad, this Londonderry team not intimidated in the least bit.
No, I think this is just a very entertaining basketball game. Both teams shooting the ball pretty well. They're getting up and down pretty well. You can't ask for much more if you're a basketball fan, and it's what you would expect out of two undefeated teams this late in the season, kind of hitting their stride and so forth. Bedford's had 2 or 3 games recently that have been pretty close halftime scores, and then they pulled away in the second half. So we'll see if that form holds. And on the Londonderry side again, they too have had some close games where they pulled away in the second half. So look, lots to look forward to, and exactly what you'd want from a kind of a mid to late February matchup, with the state tournament on the horizon.
Number 1 seed up for grabs here in Division 1 NHIAA girls basketball. Pretty balanced scoring by both of these teams. Leading the way for the Bedford Bulldogs was Annie Zink with 11, and Kate Allard had 8 points. On the other side of the ledger, Gemma Murray and Sam Sullivan each with 10 points. You have to kind of look at this Bedford team. They scored 23 points in the first quarter, just 9 in the second frame. Is that a matter of Londonderry turning up the defensive intensity, Brad?
I don't think Bedford shot the ball quite as well in the second quarter as they did the first quarter. That's not unusual. They couldn't miss in the first quarter.
Right.
But I was very impressed with how the Londonderry kids hung around. They were down 10. And that thing could have gotten away from them, and they hung right in there. Very tough-minded group of kids.
Pretty interesting. Before the ball was inbounded, all 4 girls kind of smiling down there on the floor, taking a look up at the camera at Steve Cody, the highlight guy. So the Lancers starting here in the half court. Bounce pass downtown. Air ball, battling for it, cleaning up the glass. She brought her Windex. She brought her bounty paper towels. Sam Sullivan cleaning things up. Lead is 3. Bedford will try to answer here in the half court. They'll skip it all the way across. McCarthy, crossover dribble from the elbow, spinning in the paint. She'll give it up to Muir. Muir nearly lost the handle, got it back to Allard. Allard now left-hand dribble, penetrate, throws one up and gets hacked in the act. And for my money, that's what I'd like to see a little bit more of from this Bedford team, is driving the paint, getting yourself to the free throw line, and Allard will do just that. Kate 3 for 3 so far here tonight. She had 8 points in the first half. And of course, I jinxed her. That's the highlight guy jinx right there.
She thanks you, I'm sure.
Yeah, here come the text messages and the emails. Send them to Steve at thehighlightguy.com.
Yeah, listen, regardless of whether she made that first free throw or not, I think that's what if you're Coach Gibbs and that Bedford team, you want to see your star step up in the third quarter and kind of take the bull by the horns and take the game over a little bit. So I think the more times she touches the ball, the better.
Downtown, real far, no good, and back the other way comes Bedford. There were no Lancers near the paint on that rebound. We're going to get a travel call on McCarthy. She disagrees and then kind of says, yeah, you're right, I did. So good job by the officiating crew, and Steve Greenwood, Stacy Reese, and David Zwicker are the 3-person crew out there tonight. They're doing a great job. You know why you know? Because you haven't even noticed them.
It doesn't get much better than that crew. They've done a lot of big games over the years.
Runner and a kiss off the glass by Regan Anderson, and we've talked about her a lot, and not just for her rebounding prowess, but all the other things that she brings to this ball club. Left-hand dribble, knifing her way through, couldn't get it to go, battled for. The possession is saved downtown, in and out. Another offensive rebound, no. McCarthy's there to clean it up. Another offensive rebound. Good battle on the boards, downtown, in and out, and this time Londonderry able to grab the board defensively. Crossover dribble, this is Ekert, she gave it up to Sullivan. Sullivan marked up by Allard. Crossover dribble at the left elbow, gives it up to Ekert, or Giampa rather, excuse me. That one was tipped, found its way back to Jampa's hands, needs help, lost the dribble, gets it to Ekrit. Left-hand dribble drive, and just missed the glass on that one. Like to have that one back. Here come the Bulldogs in the half court, hitting the deck. Ball rolls on the ground, and it's stolen. And the Lancers now come away with a chance. High off the glass, arcing shot, Murray.
Timeout, Bedford.
And Coach Kevin Gibbs has seen it up. He wants to talk things over. Largest lead of the evening for the Londonderry Lancers. It is a 39-33 lead with 5:25 to go in the third quarter. That'll give us a chance to tell you to stay up to date with all of the Highlight Guys' upcoming live streams. Subscribe to our YouTube channel today and never miss out on the games you want to see. Just go to YouTube, search the Highlight Guy, and hit subscribe. We thank you in advance. And if you like what you're seeing and hearing here tonight, and you want to advertise with the Highlight Guy, or you just like some more information, contact Steve at thehighlightguy.com. That's Steve, S-T-E-V-E, at thehighlightguy.com. Also give us a chance to talk to you about Bouvier Prepare. Bouvier Prepare provides comprehensive college recruiting consulting services for student athletes and their families. So if you're looking for guidance in the process for playing lacrosse, field hockey, soccer, or volleyball in college, Bouvier Prepare can provide a personalized plan for success. Contact them at bouvierprepare@gmail.com or call 603-465-1102. That's Bouvier, B-O-U-V-I-E-R, prepare@gmail.com. Timeout is in the books. 39-33. Possession will be the Bulldogs in their white uniforms. Black numbers going right to left on your screen. Preparing to D up on the other side of the court in their blue uniforms, the Londonderry Lancers. Allard, triple team came her way. She gets tied up. We're going to get a jump ball called. And it's almost as if, Brad, Londonderry knew what was coming, and they just collapsed on Allard. And
Can't tell if Kate got knocked in the eye or something.
I think maybe she did. They're making sure she's okay. She is rubbing her eye. And there was no foul called. Coach Gibbs looking for an explanation. Looks like she's okay, so that's good to see. Allard on her feet. Possession will stay with the Bulldogs.
It's going to be very interesting. You know, Bedford has not been in this position all year long, so it'll be very interesting to see how they respond. And on the other side, you know, Londonderry, you know, up 6 mid-third quarter. We'll see if, we'll see if they can sustain their level of play and close in the fourth quarter.
We talked about this too at halftime, Brad. Normally when the Bulldogs dribble drive into the paint, they come away with points, but this is a Londonderry team that's contesting those shots and coming away with the rebounds, or battling, you know, creating turnovers. They're being very physical, which is something that you haven't seen a lot this year against this Bedford team. And that was a nifty little shot there by Champa. She kind of jump stopped, little push teardrop, and knocked it down. 41-33, the lead is 8.
Yeah, they're playing with great confidence. You know, a lot of times Bedford will run away and hide on people just because people don't think they can hang with them sometimes. You know, this Londonderry team absolutely believes they can play with these guys and win this game.
It's been a 4-year journey for Coach John Doherty. He's kind of put this thing together as Allard able to keep the possession alive. And, you know, in terms of the timing, this game's still a lot in doubt as Coach Doherty can't believe the foul, and that could be 3. But
I think that's 3 on Sammy. So interesting development there with 4 minutes left in the third.
We're going to get a timeout. They're going to talk it over as Allard will head back to the free throw line. And you're right, 3 personal fouls against Sam Sullivan. They can ill afford to lose her. Provides a lot of scoring, rebounds, and just great defense.
You know, Jason, just a quick little story about Coach Doherty. He's done as you mentioned, he's been here 4 years, and they've gotten better and better and better every year. I remember, you know, when he came on board and was getting his feet wet, he had a really, really young group. You know, came on board, I think, Reagan Anderson's freshman year. The year after that, Sam Sullivan came in and so forth. So, you know, I remember my first interactions with him when he had a incredibly young team and they were taking their lumps. We were putting our fall league together that we used to run down at Girton. He said, "Hey, you got some really good teams in that fall league. Can I play?" He said, I am I know I'm going to get beat up, but I'm playing the long game here, and you know, asked for the opportunity to come and play some very, very good teams, knowing he was going to take his lumps, and you really got to respect the guy that you know, kind of sees the long game like that, and is so vested in developing his program that way.
Allard goes 2 for 2 on that trip to the free throw line. Yeah, and the other thing too is we talked, Brad, at the break about this Londonderry team is how they have improved. They turned the ball over there, but how they have improved from last year. We covered them last year, and they have just improved leaps and bounds from where they were a year ago.
Yeah, it's nice to see. You know, it's nice to see that you can tell these kids are hoop junkies too, and they put a lot of time in the off season. It doesn't just happen, you know, by accident. These kids are in the gym all summer long, all fall long. They all play serious AAU basketball, and that's the way it's supposed to be. You put the time in, you reap the benefits in the regular season. The turnover.
Bedford now are cleaning up the glass, and they're going to call a travel, I think, on Annie. And it looked like she may have been had some assistance in getting down there to the floor, but it's been a physical game, and the referee's just letting them play. I like it. Nice pass on the baseline. The Lancers will reset the scene. Ekrit, left-hand dribble, step back. She'll get it over the side, keeping it in play. Good long arm there. Defensively, is sticking her paw into the passing lane was Annie Zink to knock that ball away from Sullivan. I believe it was Sullivan. Regardless, got to get it in. They do. Interesting pass.
What a move! Wow!
Floater in the lane and finishing at the cup, Gemma Murray. And the difference, Brad, this is a Lancer team that's finishing at the cup, whereas Bedford, they haven't always finished.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, both teams shot the lights out in the first quarter. I think we talked about it at the end of the first quarter. You know, which team, when you know, when the shooting percentages settle out and normalize, you know, can get to the rim and can finish and so forth. Right now, Londonderry is doing a pretty good job of that, and a nice move by the freshman there from Bedford.
Yeah, this time Juliet Laws kind of goes through the paint unchallenged and knocks it home. It's like they're listening to me up here. Oh, and a shooter's touch there by Brooke Ekrit. Forcing the issue. Allard goes up strong and gets hacked in the act. So Kate going underneath and has a chance for another three-point play here. She had a 4-point play earlier in the game when she was hacked on a 3-point attempt. Allard in and out on that one. Battling for the rebound there was Wolf, and Grace couldn't keep it. And back the other way come the Londonderry Lancers. They are ahead by 6 points. 2:10 to go here in the third frame. Sullivan crossover to the elbow, kick out. Anderson now hands it off. Baseline is shut down. They'll reset the scene with Ekrit top of the key. Ekrit nearly lost it, got it back up top to Murray. Murray behind the back. Nice handle there. Here comes the double team. It got there just in time, and a good job by the Bulldogs half court defensively. Downtown, no, rebound. Another offensive board for the Bulldogs, and they've been cleaning up the glass on the offensive side of things here in the third quarter. That length may be starting to wear down Londonderry just a bit. Dribble drive, penetrate, elbow extended. Now back up top.
Nice move.
Muir finishing at the cup. I swear they must be listening to me. You know what I gotta say? I never win the lottery. I never win the lottery. Downtown, Yahtzee!
How impressive has Murray been, huh?
Gemma Murray knocks down the triple. She has 17 points. The runner, no good. Backside rebound, another offensive board for Bedford. Dribble drive kick, a long two-pointer, no good. And great positioning on the glass. Nice job by Ekrit boxing out. The lead is 7, 36 seconds to go in the third quarter. Taking their time now in the half court. This is Murray. Looking for help, finds it, and Sullivan, top of the key. She'll dribble, penetrate.
Nice pass.
Downtown. No, it goes over the top of the backboard. And I'm not sure, Brad, maybe you'll know, how long has Mel McCarthy been out of the game here?
She's been out 3.5, 4. I think she went out in the mid-third quarter, and we haven't seen her back. I don't think she's in foul trouble. Maybe Coach Gibbs is trying to get her wrapped around the quarter into the fourth quarter fresh. Not sure.
Battling for every loose ball. We're going to get a jump ball called. That's going to take us to the fourth quarter. What a game we have here in Bedford, New Hampshire, home of the two-time defending state champion, Bedford Bulldogs. They are 44-0 over the last couple of seasons here, and they are running into a Londonderry team that's trying to make their mark and cement themselves as a potential #1 seed in the state tournament come March. Jason Roby calling all the action for you. Brad Craik on the color commentary. Steve Cody is the man on the moving pictures. You're watching live on the Highlight Guy. The only other thing that gets me more jacked up than high school basketball is talking about real estate. And that's a great segue that if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, Mrs. Highlight Guy, Deb Cody from the Dow Group at Keller Williams Coastal is a luxury realtor. She's licensed in Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts and can assist you with your real estate goals. The Dow Group is the #1 real estate team in New Hampshire. Contact Deb at 603-945-2763 or email, Deb at thedowgroup.com. That's Deb, D-E-B, at thedowgroup.com.
Jason, how many fouls does Mel McCarthy have?
That's a great question. I thought it was 2.
She's starting the fourth quarter on the bench is why, hopefully she's not injured. She looks okay over there. Maybe just be a rotation thing right now and a matchup thing. We'll see.
Maybe they want to play. I don't know. They want to play faster, but Mel can certainly.
She can play plenty fast.
And she can play fast. She can knock down the triple and do damage on the board. So something we are not aware of, but we'll keep an eye on it.
Travel.
Oh, they're going to get a travel call. So kind of a tale of two halves here with the turnovers now coming, on the other side.
I think Londonderry's done a great job defensively. I think back-to-back 9-point quarters for Bedford. So, Londonderry's doing a very good job just defending and making everything hard for Bedford. And, they have not shot the ball quite as well in the second and third quarter as they did in the first quarter. So, we'll see. Gonna be a great 8 minutes.
Yeah, excuse me, Brad. You have to kind of wonder, too. We talked to Laney Buskey, the head coach of Pinkerton, and they played this Bedford team, I think it was 48-41 or 40, it's a 5-point game or something.
Yep.
And we're going to 30-second timeout, give us a chance to talk about this. Do you think teams look at the defensive structure and how other teams had success, and is it a copycat league from that standpoint?
Sure. I mean, at this, particularly, down the stretch like this, there's not a game you play anymore if you're doing your work, and these coaches all do their homework, where you haven't seen whoever you're playing 5 or 6 times on film. So there's not a lot of surprises at this point in time. It usually comes down to who makes plays. And like we said, again, going back to the same old boring stuff, the other thing you've seen from Londonderry since that first quarter is they've not turned the ball over very much. They don't have a lot of dead possessions, and they're skilled enough and talented enough offensively that when they don't have dead possessions, good things are going to happen more often than not. And that's really what's happened here as the game's gone on.
I guess, and you mentioned it earlier in those comments, Brad, at the end of the day, you hang your hat on the defensive side of things, and that really sets you up for success in the all-around game. It's back-to-back 9-point quarters. That's a recipe for success. Downtown, back iron, no. Long rebound. They had McCarthy, who's recently checked back in. They'll slow it down. Muir will get it to Mel. She'll dribble drive, look for help. She's going to get called for the travel.
See, everything's hard, right? Everything's hard. It doesn't look like anything's happening particularly special, but they're stopping the basketball. They got great help defense when the ball does get in the middle. They're just doing the dirty, basic fundamentals extremely well right now.
And they're playing hard and they're playing aggressive. Downtown, Back iron, no. Battling for that rebound. Allard pulls it down. She'll run. They've got the numbers in transition. No call. And a nice make there.
Oh, right back at it. Wow, wow.
Who was that, Brad?
That was Ekrit running the floor really, really well. That's so demoralizing when you work so hard to score like that, and then 4 seconds later, the other team puts in your basket.
And is that something, Brad, that's coached up? Like, look, they're going to get a bucket, and you just run. You take off.
It's a mentality, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't do anything about it, you just got scored on. The faster you get the ball in and push the ball down the floor, the better off you're going to be. And you saw that. I mean, it was probably a 3-second interval between the time Bedford scored and Ekrit had an uncontested layup down the other end of the floor. Just incredibly impressed with Londonderry's poise right now.
Sarah Muir misses the first of two. 7-point advantage here for Londonderry.
Sarah has 7, going for point number 8. He knocks it down.
And back the other way come the Lancers. The lead is 6.
Yeah,
And 6 minutes to go in this one.
You know, it really gets down now to just good decisions. And, you know, Gemma Murray's been so good. I would love to see the ball in her hands as much as they possibly can get it there. She got 17 now.
Yeah.
And is just, you know, kind of having her way right now. So the more touches she gets, and obviously the more touches Sammy get and Brooke get, the better off they're going to be.
Each team with 1 team foul, so no one really in jeopardy of heading to the free throw line yet. We could revisit that at the end of the game. Nice job, little baseline jumper, no. But rebounding the ball, and a great one by Gemma. Downtown!
Oh, wow.
Yahtzee!
Wow.
Are you kidding me? 9-point advantage for the Lancers.
I mean, it's hard to say if a kid's scoring 18 a game that it's a coming out party, but she's absolutely taken over this game in the third quarter and the early fourth.
Ice water in Murray's veins in this one. And look at the defense being employed here by Bedford. We're going to get a foul called.
Great help, though, right? I mean, it's just they're doing the basics really well.
This is and again, this game far from over, but this is a Londonderry team that is dialed in and getting everything out of what they have. Their height, their abilities. It's an impressive thing to see. And obviously, you know, you could probably say, you know, maybe not Bedford's best game, but they are. Ooh, and I think maybe we had some heads collide.
Two very tough kids going at it.
Yeah.
Listen, you know, Jason. Look, X's and O's and shooting and the whole thing. The thing you notice about this Londonderry team right now is they came into this gym and from the opening tip, even when they were down 10, you could tell that they believed. You know, they believed they could beat this Bedford team, who's won, 40-some-odd. You could just kind of tell by the way in their body language and the way they were carrying themselves that they had absolutely no doubt in their minds that they could win this game. And we'll see if they can close.
Confidence by this team in the half court as well. They never look like they are out of sorts. They're methodical in their approach, and in how they're approaching things is aggressive, disciplined, dribble drive, runner.
On the other side, you know Bedford's not going away.
No.
You know, you don't get to whatever it is, 3 or 4 of the last 5 state championship games, you know, not having a champion's mentality. So they're going nowhere fast. I can tell you that. This last 4:48 is going to be really, really good.
I'm about to ask you an unpopular question here as Zink rattles the first one in, shooter's touch. She'll get a second.
Is there any benefit to losing a game like this if you're Bedford? And I'll let you think about that for a second.
So I'll think about it for 1 second. I would say no.
Okay, very good.
No, that's a hard no.
Silver lining, no. Okay, all right.
No, do I think that makes it any more or less likely that
Do you play with a little more purpose and you know, we've got that undefeated streak, we've got that out of the way kind of thing?
I can pretty much tell you this. You know, I'd bet my house on this. Neither of these two coaches are thinking, even in the slightest right now, in terms of their calculus in the last 4:23, is, well, you know, if we lose this game, it's okay, and maybe I'm going to manage the last 4 minutes a little differently because I'm not worried about that. I can guarantee you that's nowhere near their mind.
Fair enough.
They're trying to win this game, period.
I have to fill the space in the broadcast. Steve offered to juggle some scarves over there, and I'm like, I don't think that's going to. Oh, we got a backcourt violation by Murray.
And Brad, it's something I noticed when you were talking. It almost looked like Londonderry was taking the air out of the basketball in that possession. I could be wrong. Too early for that, I think.
Too early.
Yeah, but
too early.
I would love to see them stay in their attack frame of mind. Downtown, Allard's not shy. Yahtzee! And on cue, this Bedford team will not go quietly into the night. The lead is just 4. Stolen on a Pontiac and riding up strong. Hacked at the cup. Eva Zink's going to head to the line.
What did we just talk about, right? They're not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere. But again, I look back at the Londonderry team, and it almost looks like, I don't want to say complacent or hesitant. It just seems like a different flow. Knocking the first one in is Zink. She'll get a second.
Look, it's not easy taking the big dog down, right?
This is true.
It's hard. It's physically tough. It's mentally tough. Closing is not easy.
It is not. But it's easy for Zink as she goes 2 for 2. And here comes the full court pressure. We'll see how Londonderry handles it. Just fine, thank you very much. Good ball movement downtown. A rainmaker hits the wire at the top, and that is out of bounds. So in the flow of the offense, do you like that shot, Brad?
Yeah, I think so, right? I mean, they're not playing not to lose. That's an open shot. Shoot the ball.
Right-hand dribble, Bulldogs setting up in the half court. Here comes the help defense. Got to be careful not to get a foul.
Boy, it went from 9 to 2 awfully fast, didn't it?
Real quick. And then this Bedford team can score in bunches. But the Lancers have gone cold as well.
Look at Anderson battling Allard down the block.
Love it. And speaking of loving it, great dribble drive there. We get a tie ball game as Annie Zink puts one in. Extra basketball, anyone? Long way to go before that point. Driving to the cup, harassed, kick out, little runner, one-hand push shot, no good. Allard comes away, and the Bulldogs will run. Put the brakes on. She flew right by into the corner, thought about it, albeit briefly. Spin move in the paint, needs help. What a backdoor pass and a foul. And that is going to put, I believe, Bedford in the bonus. I think that is foul number 5. Yeah, it is, and Bedford should be at the free throw line, and they are. That's right, the highlight guy, the only one in the house that knew that stat. So a chance for Bedford with 2:46 to go in regulation to reclaim the lead. Acoustic shadows here in the home of the Bulldogs. Muir, a chance to put her squad up by 2. And she does just that. And back the other way come the Lancers. They are now down 2. They have not been behind since before the half.
11-0 run for Bedford in the last, I think, 3 minutes here, Jason.
Nice. They're going to call a travel. And the defense collapsed around Murray. And they grab the ball that time. Turnover. Bedford a chance to add to the lead. 55-53, Bulldogs operating in the half court. And this time, Bedford not showing any signs of slowing down. That ball rolls around, bodies collide, coming away with it. Possession will go to Londonderry. So good hustle there by Anderson to wrap that one up. We're going to get a full timeout here with 2:13 to go. All right, Coach, time to put the whistle on. The coach, then coach speak. What are you telling your team right now with 2:13 to play? Possession of the ball, down 2.
Yeah, I think Bedford's had some success, ramping up the full court pressure defense. And I think, if your coach gives you probably, I'm not sure if you're pressing, but you're probably going to put pressure on the ball 94 feet with those guards, make things hard for Londonderry. On the flip side, I think, Gemma Murray, Sammy Sullivan, right? Those have been their 2 kids, those 2 consistent scorers all year long. Again, I'm not sure you need to call something specific, but those two kids have got to touch the ball offensively for Londonderry.
It's a Bedford team that only has 3 team fouls, so they can afford to be a little bit aggressive here if they do decide to press, and even in the half court. Meanwhile, Bedford is in the bonus. Any foul against Londonderry will give the Bulldogs some freebies.
Yeah, the other thing I've always been a fan of here is if you got an open 3, shoot it. But I think you got to think attack the rim first. If both teams, I think you got to think get to the rim, force the other team to defend you, and give yourself a chance to have a foul called, being aggressive downhill at the rim.
I'm pretty sure the possession arrow should be with Bedford, but it is not on the scoreboard, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. Ekrit, Sullivan, little 3-player weave. They'll push him out further into the half court. Nice pass to the short side. It comes, hangs up in the air, looking for the best shot, and this time it gets deflected. That's why there's no backcourt. Londonderry fortunate to come away with that one. Into the baseline, forced, and Sullivan will bring things back over near side.
Ooh.
Into the corner, trying to set up that 3-point shot potentially downtown. Little ball fake and a good defensive play by the Bulldogs. Possession will stay with the Lancers.
Very, very interesting rotation decision. Mel McCarthy's played about a minute in the fourth quarter, and Coach Gibbs has gone with Grace Wolf in most of the fourth quarter. It's working for him, right? They were
so
down,
far,
they
so
were
good,
down 9,
right?
and they've come back in here and gotten the lead.
And that one is airmail turnover, 1:18 to go. And the Bulldogs have upped the defensive pressure here in the fourth quarter. They have a 2-point lead. The Lancers will pick up at half court. And again, have to be careful not to commit a foul and send Bedford to the line, but you do have to be aggressive and get possession, as Bedford will just kind of work the ball around, and there they tried for the steal. Murray,
I think she pinned that ball. Looked like she pinned that ball up against her hip there.
nice pass to Allard, goes up. They're going to call a travel. No!
Oh.
They're going to call a hold. And that's an interesting call there, as Jumpa will get called for the foul. Her arms were straight up and down. That'll put Allard at the free throw line. That free throw brought to you by Goodnight Moon. As quiet as we've heard it in any gym all year long. Allard misses the first, she'll get a second. 1 out of 2 for the BU-bound senior. 50 seconds to go, 3-point advantage for the Bulldogs.
Don't think you need a free here, right? You know, you got plenty of time to get downhill and attack the rim a little bit. And the open three's fine, but I still think you gotta try to get downhill and attack the basket.
Lancers living dangerously downtown. No, comes up short, and now you have to get a jump ball.
It's a travel. Pretty sure that's a travel.
They're going to talk it over. I think you're right. But remember that possession arrow, Brad.
Yeah, this should be Bedford's ball regardless. Yeah.
And you saw Coach Gibbs with the arms extended.
I think he might have called the
He was calling a full timeout. He thought his team had possession.
I think either way, Bedford had the ball there, right?
For sure.
Either on the possession arrow or on the timeout. So,
wow, what a game we've seen here tonight, folks. The undefeated Londonderry Lancers came into the building at 16-0 to face the two-time defending state champ Bedford Bulldogs at 17-0. And it has been all that in a bag of chips here in Bedford on a Friday night. Jason Roby calling all the action for you. Brad Craik on the color commentary. Steve Cody on the moving pictures. 29.9 seconds to go in this one. Foul situation. The Bulldogs are in the bonus, so they'll head to the free throw line on any foul.
I think you got a foul here too. I mean, look, you're down under 30 seconds. You could make an argument that they should allow one pass and see if they get a quick steal or a quick trap, but anything coming out of that trap, you think you have to foul immediately and lengthen the game.
Here comes the pressure.
Here's the trap.
And they do foul, yep.
That's good.
So less than a second running off on that one. So we'll head down to the other end of the floor. This will be Annie Zink.
Free throws and layups, right, Jason?
That's it. We've seen a lot of both, and you look at this Bedford free throw. They've done quite well here from the line. Okay. Snack time's over. Annie Zink to the free throw line. Knocks down the first. It's one of those times in a gym that's so quiet you want to hold your breath because you don't want people to hear you breathing. Zink rattles in the second. Free throws are going to be the talk of this one. It's Bedford, and I thought a pullback, step back, no. Crashing the glass, nice bounce pass. Bedford, 18 seconds to go, and they find themselves up by 5 points. And it's a Londonderry team that maybe has seen their opportunity go by the boards here. They were down by double digits, then they were leading by double digits, and now down by 5 with 18 seconds to go.
Jason, I think if memory, 43-34, I think, Londonderry up 9 with the ball early fourth quarter, and it's been kind of been all Bedford since, right?
Well, I'm going to give you a stat.
26 to 10. 26 to 10 fourth quarter so far.
12 out of 14 from the free throw line for the Bulldogs.
Very, very good basketball game. It would not surprise anybody, I don't think, to see these two teams in Durham in 3 weeks' time.
So you're Coach Doherty, and you've given your best shot here, and you come up short. What do you tell your team, Coach?
Well, look, I think for 26 minutes they were the better basketball team.
Yeah.
But I think, what do you take away from it? I think it validates the fact that you can beat this team. They know what they need to focus on now, right? That last 6 minutes, just closing up 9 and just taking care of the ball and just getting to the finish line. So, look, that was a very entertaining basketball game across the board, I thought. Two very good teams, well coached, put on a nice show here.
The final will be 60-53. Bedford cements themselves as the #1 seed here in the NHIAA Division I tournament. Londonderry, a valiant effort going down in defeat. It was their game into the fourth quarter, and the Bedford team with their championship medal just would not go away, and they are victorious here. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with some post-game interviews, hopefully, when we get a chance to catch our breath. You've seen a great game here from the campus of Bedford High School. Thanks for watching us live on the Highlight Guy. We'll be right back with some post-game after this.
Back to the left to the 5-yard line, stretches it out. That's Anthony D. He gets out to the 25. He breaks another tackle to the 30, the 35, the 40, 50, the 45, the 40, 30, 25. There's nobody near him.
No flags.
What a play.
Anthony D goes the distance. D stands for distance. Come the Clippers. On the low block, kick out downtown. Yahtzee. Landry, 0-0, 0-on-0. Caruso from downtown knocks down a triple.
In front of the goal mouth, they jump for it. The header finds the back of the net. Hadley Commode with a spectacular play.
Hi, this is Deb Cody with the Dow Group at Keller Williams Coastal and Lakes and Mountains Realty. I have a passion for helping people, and I love to help people with their real estate goals, whether it's buying, selling, or investing. I'm licensed in New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Maine, and work with an incredible team, the Dow Group, which has been the #1 real estate team in New Hampshire for the past several years. Collectively, the team has sold over $1 billion worth of real estate in the past 20 years. If you're curious to know what the local market is like in your area, feel free to reach out via my website, deb.thedowgroup.com, and let's get connected.
Are you looking to play sports in college? Almost every college recruiting website recommends having a highlight video as one of the top 3 crucial recruiting tools. In fact, 93% of college coaches we surveyed said they watch a recruit's highlight video as part of their player assessments. Our sole purpose is to make you look good. Our highlight videos include an athlete bio and accolade page, stop motion, and player highlight. The video is not done until you are completely satisfied and say it's done. We also upload to YouTube or whatever recruiting platform you use. The highlight guide can also film your high school or club games to capture you in action, resulting in amazing footage that you can use to help create your highlight video. We have the expertise to help you get recruited. Check out our website at thehighlightguide.com or contact Steve at thehighlightguide.com to get started on your path to playing sports in college.
Breath here at the home of the Bedford Bulldogs, where they come out victorious 60-53, your final. And Coach Kevin Gibbs, kind enough to join me here. I hope you've caught your breath as well. What a game, 2 good teams going back and forth. Your assessment on this one?
Well, I'm going to start with what you finished with, which was 2 good teams going at it. I intended to send Kate Allard out. She's still in the locker room celebrating a bit. She was a difference maker for us.
Yeah.
Her physicality, when she started playing here, she shied away from it her freshman year, her sophomore year. Focus wasn't as much on her because we had Lana McCarthy in the mix.
Right.
Last year, Kate started to rise to the occasion. Tonight, she crossed that finish line. Sammy was face guarding her.
Yeah.
They were, and this is not meant as a negative statement, they were grabbing, pulling. I mean, Kate's got a scratch across her eye and her eyelid that is outrageously mean looking. She's already turning purple. She played right through it. She didn't want to come off. She wanted the ball.
Yeah.
And she wanted to will us to win. Quite honestly, Kate, to me, proved that she is, at this point, in consideration for the best player in the state of New Hampshire. There are a lot of good players out there and a lot of games left to play, but the kids dug deep. They didn't get down. We were down 9 points.
Yeah.
I believe we finished the game 16-0, and a lot of that had to do with determination on the boards, determination defensively, and working together and finding the right person offensively.
It was a physical game, Coach, as you noted. Both teams kind of, an undersized Londonderry team just scratching, clawing, battling. And your team that doesn't always have these kind of close games, I'm sure you're pleased to see them able to come back from a 9-point deficit and come away with a victory the way they did.
So here's the reality. If we sit there right now as the 1, they're the 1A.
Yeah.
They're the 1A. That is a great team. They have guards. They have Sammy Sullivan, who is just an unbelievable player. They have a coach that I tremendously respect. John is one of the great minds in the state of New Hampshire in terms of basketball. He was doing things out there that we hadn't seen.
Sure.
We were trying to do things that he hadn't seen.
Sure.
Now
sure.
we're both going to have to go back to the drawing board if we end up seeing each other again.
And
but the reality is this. He's a great coach. They've got some really great players. And as I said to him when we were done, if we play 5 games, it'll be a rubber match for the best out of 5 because it'll be 2-2 going into that game.
Yeah, I agree with that. One of the things that stood out to us is looking at my scorebook, you were 12 out of 14 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter.
Really?
I believe 22 out of 28 for the entirety of the game. It looks like my SAT form here, except my answers were all wrong. Yours were all right tonight. Do you guys work on that a ton in practice?
We do, but interestingly enough, this week we didn't put as much emphasis on the free throws because as much emphasis as we put on them, as a team for the season, we're shooting about 56%. So we aren't like super fixated on it.
Sure.
But in the flow of the action, we trust the kids to step up there and make them.
Is that Kate right behind us there?
Katie, turn this over to you.
Kate Allard, congratulations on a fantastic win.
You.
You did great. Got a little battle scar there. Kate Allard finished with 17 points here on the night, none of them bigger than her fourth quarter effort. You guys were, I was telling Coach Gibbs, 12 out of 14 in the fourth quarter, 22 out of 28 for the game. Free throws were a big part of that. But talk about being down in the fourth quarter and your team's ability to come back and come away with a 7-point victory.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about our team is if we're down or in tough times, we always stay together. It's not we play an individual game, but we know we have to come back as a team and just do the little things. So if offensively wasn't working, we got to lock down on defense, get stops, and that translates into offense.
This was a... How you like that? This was a game... no, you're fine. That was awesome. This is a game that your coach was saying at the beginning, you're very familiar with their girls, you know them. You wouldn't call yourselves friends, you wouldn't call them enemies, maybe frenemies, kind of an appropriate term. Game was getting pretty physical down there, but at the same time, it seemed like sportsmanship was still on display. Talk to me about the physicality in the game.
Yeah, I mean, none of it's personal. I think everyone knows that.
Yeah.
We're just both teams. We're just competitors, so we both just go after it. So physicality just comes with that. So no one takes it personal,
That's
but it's
good.
kind of fun to battle with each other.
Well, it certainly was enjoyable. I hope you go home and watch it on the highlight guy. I know we'll watch it again. You had a great crowd here. You finished the season 17-0. Unfinished business for your team still, though?
Yeah, we're still going to work. Over February break, we're going to be grinding in the gym as always trying to get better for playoffs.
Kate Allard, the BU-bound Kate Allard. However, still a lot of work to be done here in the Granite State as she heads to the playoffs as the #1 seeded Bedford Bulldogs will try to make a run at a three-peat. Kate, thanks so much for joining us
Thank
here
you.
on The Highlight Guy. Congratulations. Well, that's going to wrap things up for us here from the campus of Bedford High School. You saw arguably one of the greatest, one of the better games of the season. We knew it would be just that, a 7-point victory for Bedford. They had to claw, they had to battle. It wasn't always pretty at times, but at the end of the day, they get the W, remain undefeated. This Londonderry team, you heard Coach Gibbs say, if there's a 1 team, there's a 1A team. You have not heard or seen the last of this Londonderry team. I want to thank you all for watching here tonight on The Highlight Guy. For my partner, Brad Craik, the man on the moving picture, Steve Cody, my name is Jason Roby, reminding you all that it is not the critic who counts, but you can always count on the critic. Take care, and we'll see you soon.